Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Hey everyone, so we have Cortney Cribari here today. I'm so excited to have her on as a guest. If you are looking for any special inspiration, if you're a new mom, you're wondering how in the hell can I get out of this job that I hate and be with my baby, or not have to worry about using all of your vacation days when your kid is sick, and you want to, on top of that, have vibrant, amazing health postpartum, this is your girl. Hey, Cortney, how's it going?
Hi, Tiff. How are you? Thank you so much for having me today.
I'm so excited to have you on. I want to get right to it since you have so much to share. So if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about how your journey has been going from like your pre-mom to your post-mom life in terms of health, in terms of making money. How does it look?
Okay. Gosh, you're bringing me back. So when I think about my life before my baby, it was very free. It was very kind of go with the flow, fun, carefree. I didn't, probably a little less serious. I was married to my husband, and we had just become married, and we were both entrepreneurs. So we had the flexibility of our own schedule. And as entrepreneurs, we kind of, do what we love and just, had that freedom. And so I think about my life then, and it wasn't super regimented. It wasn't super organized, even though I would always get a lot done. And I had been a successful entrepreneur since 2011. That's just kind of how I operated. And then once the child came, or I got pregnant, we decided we wanted to start having a baby. And I got pregnant just quick and fast. Because I had been so clean and really prepared my body for at least a year before we decided to start trying, because I knew that was one of our goals. And so we got pregnant, and I had a really, really difficult pregnancy. So I decided to just have a healthy, stress-free pregnancy, rest a lot, take care of myself. And my work really did take the back burner because I decided to take basically a year off to start my family. I had my child, and then that's a whole nother shift in when the baby comes, and just wrapping your head around motherhood and how I'm going to take care of this child and get my body back, and then also get my momentum back in my business, and basically do it all. Like, as women, we want to have it all. And I was raised to be that woman, that type of woman, to have the great husband, to have the successful career, to have a family, and to be healthy and fit and fabulous. Like, I was raised with the mindset that you can have that, because my mom was a very strong woman. And so when the baby came, I knew what I wanted, but it's really difficult because you feel so defeated, and you are exhausted, and you don't feel confident about your body, and you have that lack of energy, and you're just so overwhelmed, wondering, where do I start? How do I even begin the process? And so I definitely went through all that. The baby blues is a very real thing. And that's just kind of how it began for me postpartum and post baby, probably the first 3 to 6 months.
So for all the women out there who have kids, are pregnant, are wanting to be, I know the thought I have, being someone who doesn't have a kid, the thought of it has always freaked me out. Especially before I was an entrepreneur, it really freaked me out, with having, a W-2, a standard job, like being away from the baby, what happens when the baby's sick. And I know a lot of women causes so much extra stress, and they would love to be at home. And you've made this possible for yourself and your family. Like, how in the hell did you do it, girl?
It was very important to me to create a level of freedom in my life that gave me total control over my life choices, and basically just let me do whatever I want. And that's why I became an entrepreneur. And I did it through building what's called residual income. And as an entrepreneur, and when I became my own boss, and I started building residual income through partnering with the health and wellness company I work with. They offer this vehicle, and I built the residual income to a place that allowed me to literally take a year off to start my family, continued to pay me throughout that whole year. And then when I was ready after my child, and I could wrap my brain around going back to work and not being pressured, not having to take a maternity leave. But when I was ready, when I felt like, okay, I'm seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel here, I'm having more energy, I think it's time. I want to jump back in there. I want to get back into the game, because as I realized, I love being a mother, and women, we are so multidimensional. I was just talking about this with my girlfriend this morning, is we're so multidimensional. We're so amazing. We have the nurturing side. We have the best friend side. We have the work side, the accomplishment, the independent side. We have the lover side. We have, the wife or significant other side. And then we also have, just honoring ourselves and being fit and healthy, and that dimension as well. And what I've realized is it's very important to honor all aspects of yourself. And if you don't, then one will kind of fall to the wayside and creep up on you. So that is why I love being a mother, and I want to be at home and be a very present mother, because my mother was always gone and working, and she did an amazing job, but I had to be self-sufficient at a young age. So I knew I want to be around and be accessible to my child. But I also want to work. I also have always accomplished things. I've always, been good at whatever I put my mind to. And I like helping people and serving people. So that aspect of myself is very important as well. So I have decided when I was ready to get back in, focus on my work, get the momentum going back in my career, and get back out there. And the residual income that stayed with me, it was still there. And now it's like, okay, with a new baby, there's new dreams and there's new goals. So it's just building on that financially to where I want to take it to this next phase of my life. And that's why I love it, because it can grow with you through any different phases that you're going through as a woman.
For those of you who are listening who are like, what the hell are these girls talking about with residual income? Number one, I have an entire separate episode on it. Number two, it's one of my favorite topics. Number three, it is a key component in my strategy to obtaining and maintaining wealth. But in a nutshell, residual income is income that you continue to receive after an initial effort. So you make an effort in maybe selling something to someone, and they reorder it, month after month, but maybe you don't ever talk to them again. Maybe you talk to them once in a while. You still get paid on it. So that is a key component of how I've built and maintained my wealth. And that's what Cortney's talking about here today. I'm embodying what a new mom, potential mom, an already mom who's frazzled and over it, scared. How do you earn such great money through residual income while managing, a baby, all the, so to speak, duties and responsibilities of a wife, of a mom? How do you do it?
That's a really great question. And I work with a lot of women as well, Tiffany, and I do see a lot of women scattered. And not that I don't get frazzled at times, but I think my key to reducing the overwhelm is I have really made a conscious effort in getting organized and getting very scheduled. And that if it's on my schedule, it's very important, but really time blocking out what really matters in my life, time blocking out, okay, one-on-one mommy and me time blocking out, okay, this is work time. I'm going to do a series of calls. I'm going to do a podcast with Tiffany. I'm going to do this, and really just getting my schedule in order and sticking to it, very, very diligently, but also I also truly believe that if this is your goal, you need to speak your goal out loud to the people that love you the most, especially your husband or the resources, your friends, and say, this is my goal and this is what I need, and getting the support that you need. And I did that. I'm like, okay, this is where I am there. This is what I want to be. I want to, serve people on a greater level and be a mother. So how am I going to make that happen? It's like, okay, women, yes, we can have it all, but we also need support. So I did, instead of getting stressed, you just get help. You hire help. And if you can't hire help, then you communicate it to possibly friends or family in the area that can help you with your child, that can watch your child for a few hours during the day to free you up. So you have to learn how to manage and run everything.
You know what? You just said something that gave me the chills. And I know it is so hard for so many women asking for help. We do not have to do it all. I know some of us were taught that or were modeled that in our childhood, but we don't need to. We're not meant to. There aren't all these people on the planet for us to have to do life alone. And
Right.
So your point rings very well. I know it's something a lot of women struggle with because they think, oh, well, that makes me seem weak. I should be able to. Well, throw that out the window, because if you want to have what you want in life, you want to build wealth, you want to stay at home, you want to be able to send your kids to, private school or go to Disneyland, several times a year, you're going to have to ask for help. It's required.
And that's why women need each other. Tiffany, that's why we need each other, and you need your girlfriends, and you need those women that get it and support you, because you do need that help, and you do just be real about it. And when you put that out to the universe, I really believe that support comes to you in whatever form that you do need. If it is physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, like, it's available. That's why we are on this planet, is to help each other.
I totally agree. And one of the things that really draws me to you, that drew me to you, continues to draw me to you, is you have this amazing energy and glow about you. It's like, and I know you've written your own cookbook. I know you're very big in the health and wellness space, and that is where your residual income comes in. You've turned your passion into prosperity. But I got to say, girl, I want what you have, because to have the energy, not only her body, guys, but to have the energy you have and the glow that you have, and you're a relatively new mom, that's not normal. So can you share a little bit or a couple of your health tips with everyone?
Sure. In terms of more energy?
Yeah, maybe more energy or things not to eat or to eat, some things that are crucial mistakes you see people making that is sabotaging their health.
Look, I completely am very passionate about this because what a lot of people don't know about me is that I do have an autoimmune disease. I have Hashimoto's thyroidism. And so that in itself, makes the body fatigued and tired. And so I do have that internal battle. So it's I'm just like every other woman. I deal with it just like everybody else. And then on top of it, having a tiny baby to look after all day and running a business and having a husband, a demanding husband to just be real about it. Yeah. So what I have found, I have to be very careful about what I eat, and gluten and sugar are an absolute no-no. Absolutely. It will zap any natural energy I have. And it's in anybody, it contributes to inflammation in the body. And over time, it will catch up with you. So I'm a big proponent on no gluten and sugar. And then also, it's hard for me to say, oh, get 8 hours of sleep, because when you're a new mom, it's almost impossible. So I love coffee. I love organic coffee. I love bulletproof coffee. You put the butter and the MCT oil with the organic coffee in the morning, and that's a treat. I love that. That gets me fired up in the mornings. But also exercise. I always make it even no matter how I feel, I always try to get in at least 30 minutes a day of something. And that always makes me feel better and always invigorates me. And meditation. I'm a big meditator. If something's bothering me or weighing me down, I will go within. I will seek guidance. I will release it. I will search for a more constructive perspective. And really, I think my mindset is what keeps me going, keeps me strong. I actually know it is. It's my mindset. And so if you're struggling, I think it's very important just to look within yourself and dig deeper for your inner strength, because we all have it and it's there. And especially if you're a mother, it's there. You've already tapped into it during childbirth, and it's just constantly going back to that inner strength, along with coordinating the diet with it, adding in some natural, supplementations, or the caffeine. So that's what I do.
These are amazing tips, and I'm writing them down as you talk. I'm asking a lot of these questions selfishly, but I know the listeners want to know those answers as well. I'm thinking of, the typical mom, even 2 years postpartum, struggles to get her pre-baby body back. And it's not even just the body that I know, because that affects the mindset, because the self-confidence goes down. So it's the body, but it's also like the mojo is kind of off. Do you have anything you could say to that? Is there any suggestions or anything you can say to kind of help women who are listening, who are in that mindset right now?
Absolutely. I feel like you got to give it up to grace. You whatever is going on in your life, you got to give yourself more grace. You got to see the beauty in the situation, no matter how challenging it is. And honestly, Tiffany, that's my secret. That's my secret.
That's beautiful.
I don't
Basically,
get stressed out.
You give yourself permission to be human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Like, if I mess up or I'm tired or, I'm bitchy or whatever, it's like, it's okay. It's totally okay, because I'm dealing with a lot. And as women, we deal with a lot, and we have our moments, and we're human. And then you just collect yourself and you move forward in a more positive direction. Like, it's just, having that perspective, honestly, that's what keeps me going and keeps me strong.
And for those of you who are interested in seeing an awesome before and after of Cortney's amazing transformation that she did, you need to check out her Instagram at Cortney Cribari. It is, and she's also on Facebook as well. All that will be in the show notes for you, but I definitely want you to go and look at her page. You'll get a lot of inspiration and amazing tips, and as you can tell, she is filled with light, even just over audio, but when you put a visual to it, it's truly incredible. What I want to know is, how did you find the time to honor yourself and get your health and your body back to a pre-baby state? You did it rather quickly. How did you find the time to do that? It's not like you're a Kardashian with 5 nannies.
Well, first of all, I made the commitment, and, once I make a decision, I'm a pretty committed person. So instead of saying, how am I, I can't do it, it's going to be too hard, I'm not going to be able to do this, I had to wrap my brain around, how can I do it? And I'm telling you, I took my baby to workouts with me. I took my child. My friend has a class and would let me literally take my infant carrier in the class, and I stuck the baby right next to me and I worked out. I took the baby in the stroller and I pushed him up hills, and I did hill sprints with my child. Like, I just didn't use my child as an excuse. Like, I just brought him with me and I did it. Basically,
if there's a will, there's a way.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
If you really want something bad enough, you'll look at it how Cortney does. How can I do it? Not all the excuses of why I can't. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I have no one to watch the baby. I mean, excuses. I could come up with 1 million, and I don't have a kid. I could come up with them for you.
Yeah.
There's always a way if you want to find a way. But I'm also, and I know Cortney is too, empathetic to feeling a little stuck and needing to be lifted up. And that's a big point around ProjectME and me bringing guests on, wonderful, amazing, powerful women to help lift you up, because we all need that. Like Cortney said, we can't do this alone, nor are we meant to.
And Tiffany, I had that. When I first had my child, one of my mentors is an amazingly successful woman. She's actually a celebrity. And I told her, you have to voice your struggles to the people that who are in your inner circle. And especially women who inspire and you aspire to be like. And I flat out told her how defeated I was and how am I going to do this and this and that. And she breathed belief into me, Tiffany. She breathed into the confidence that I didn't have at the time. And that made me believe in myself. And she told me that when she accomplished more as a mother than at any other time in her life. And I'm like, okay, if you can do it, I can do it. And we need that. So I think mentorship is a really big deal, or, having those women in your corner that champion you, because they get it and they've been there. And that's why we need each other, Tiffany.
I seriously am sitting here with like the chills again, because that's probably one of my biggest passions. I was someone who always thought I had to do it alone, because I was modeled that in childhood, that's what made a strong woman, is to do it alone and do it all. And that's not what makes a strong woman. That's what makes an exhausted woman.
Yes. An exhausted, stressed out woman who becomes miserable.
Oh, totally. And I was miserable. Before we wrap up, I do want to touch back on, given a lot of our focus on the show, we do wealth, health, and worth. But I do want to say, how do you bring in like that? You said mindset is one of your biggest keys to success. What's your mindset around money that obviously is working for you?
My mindset around money. That's such a good question. I believe that money is a flow and it's an energy. And if you're putting yourself out there and that's where you're putting your energy, that's what you're wanting to create and wanting to build, that you will attract that. And the more that you talk about it and you speak about it and you speak your vision and you speak your goals, like other people respond to that. And they're looking for that leadership, and they're looking for a person who can help them live that better life, or believe in that, that level of happiness or better in their life is possible. So I feel like you have to speak it, you have to believe it and own it. And when you do that, it just becomes this flow that comes back to you.
I love that. Are you currently taking on any new members to your business or to your team? Is that open right now?
Absolutely. I'm always looking for, goal-driven, successful people who, are willing to get outside of their comfort zone, willing to try something new, have an open mind, open heart, and really just want to take their life to another level. I'm always looking for women like that, and who, aren't afraid, who are kind of fearless about it because they know in their heart that they deserve better and they deserve an amazing life. And it's true. We all do. We all deserve love and inner peace and happiness and abundance. So I am absolutely always looking to lock arms with incredible women. And I love showcasing women, and their strengths. Like, that is so fun for me and passionate to collaborate with women. It just makes my life so exciting and fulfilling.
How can people reach out to you if they're interested to seeing if maybe they'd be a good fit on your team?
Yes, they can message me on Instagram at Cortney Cribari, or Facebook. Just find me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm very responsive on there, and I can get back to people. Awesome. And I really like to dive deep into people's goals and what they're looking for and their big dreams in life, because we all have big dreams, and we should never stop dreaming, ever.
Well, that's a great note to end on. This was an awesome interview. Thank you so much for your time and for your wisdom and for your inspiration. I personally needed a little lift today, and I got it. So I hope everyone who's listening got a little lift and some wisdom themselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.